We started saving seriously February, and we got our house May, because I would say May. We moved in August. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
3 months.
Yes.
It's a
Yeah.
lie.
It's true. I'll tell you. I'll tell
How?
you how. I will tell you. I'll
So welcome back to our channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to save money to buy a house. I know you've been working in the nursing home and then you moved to the hospital and you started earning less, if I'm not mistaken. So
You're very
please let
right.
us know, how was it possible for you to buy a house with your chicken band 5 salary? Forgive me.
All right, no problem. I totally understand. Um, the first thing I'll tell people out there is you need to be well informed before you even make any decision. Because I remember perfectly that we wanted to get our own house. I think starting from about 6 months after arriving in England, because I keyed into the information quite early that it was someone else's mortgage I was paying off by renting.
Exactly.
So I keyed into
That's
that
the
information. So the
spirit.
more informed you are in England, the richer, the better, the more of a good lifestyle you will live, of a better lifestyle you will live. So I keyed into that information early enough. However, I don't, God willing, that's what I was saying. The person I asked, who has been here for quite a while, that I asked, do you think I could get a house? Um, he said, no, you can't, because banks would not give you any mortgage. You are still a tier two holder, this and that. It's not possible. So we just trashed that bit. Then, still asking around, I saw another colleague who already owned a house here. Then I presented my case and she said it's very possible. Then they guided me. So, see, ever since then, I've always been grateful and I've always wanted to inform nurses out there, because I know that, it's easy to key into informations like it's someone else's mortgage I'm paying. This is a business venture that I could be doing, so that was how it started anyway. The dream, the goals to have my own house, our own house rather, because it's not mine alone.
But if you had that goal of having your own house, how come you were able to gather the courage to leave your nursing home job to the hospital?
Okay. Well, I would say the politics, the problem that we were facing in the care home was overwhelming. It was to that extent whereby we were like, okay, if even if we join band 5 NHS and we can't save for a house, let's just, in as much as I have peace of mind, I'm okay. My wife and I, we were working in the same care home, both registered nurses. So what tends to happen most often is that I would be handing over, if I'm on day shifts, I'll be handing over to my wife starting night. Then I'll go home to sleep. No baby yet. I'll go home to sleep. Then wake up the next morning, go and take over from my wife. She will go home to sleep. So we were not having that time together, and it was
Yeah.
affecting us. Then coupled with, those who are in care homes will understand what I'm saying when I say all those petty talks, all those unnecessary problems you face at
Mhm.
care homes, and
Yeah.
we just decided, no, let's. So I was the one that made the bold step to leave, you know, the first person to leave for the NHS. Then seeing what I was enjoying, and my wife decided to join me. So we were ready to just let go of the house. That's how I'll put it, because we knew we were entering an uncharted territory, especially in terms of finances. But we were that ready to just, to have peace. When we're working in the care home, one major way to save is getting an extra job. But
Mhm.
there is a way the care home will make that very difficult for you. Now, We were lucky to sign a contract of 37.5 hours a week with a home.
Okay.
I know of some other people, I don't know, some of the listeners would have signed 42, some would have signed 48. Most
Yeah.
people
I
don't really
think
know
that's
what
what is
this,
common now.
yeah, most people don't know what that hour entail until they've started working those hours. What it means is, on no occasion would you do less than that contracted hours because you've signed against it. So we were lucky to have signed 37.5 hours, meaning at least we'll be having 3 shifts per week. The care home also was good in the sense that they also paid for break. So it's still comfortable to say, it's still convenient to say, yes, three shifts per week. But there's a way the care home will make those duty, like there's a way they would cluster your rota that you will be useless with the remaining days. You won't be able to do any other thing on those remaining days. Either they call you back for one training that they could have just done or online or something. They will call you for a training. If it is not a
That's
training,
true.
it is a meeting. If it is not a
Mm-hmm.
meeting, it is a disciplinary hearing. you know
Exactly.
if it is not a
Mm-hmm.
disciplinary hearing, it is you, they will coerce you to cover up a shift, or maybe you don't even have someone to come take over from you because they are short
Mm-hmm.
staffed. So I've
That's true.
noticed that about care homes. They make sure you're locked into them. So we were not able to save, we were just earning what the home was giving us. You understand? Though as compared to the NHS, it's a bit much. That's how I would say, because at the end of tax deduction, take home about 2002, 2004, take home, compared to
Mm-hmm.
NHS, where the take home is about 1.7 averagely now. It's quite different. It's quite much. That's how I'll put it. But when you think about the opportunities the NHS will give you, will afford you, at the end of the day, what you'll be taking home, what you'll be amassing home will be much more than what the home was given to you.
So you said your wife is a nurse too. Do you think that also played a part in the savings? Like for
Well,
me now that I'm the only nurse in this family, will I be able
mhm.
to save as much as we were able to save in that short amount of time? How long were you in the UK before you even bought your house?
We would have gotten the house quite earlier, but like I said, we were misinformed. So I would say we were in the UK for close to 2 years before we got the house. Close. Wife, being a registered nurse, my wife, yes, it did play a role. It did play a role, but you remember, it only made it a bit faster. Do you get? Because at the end of the day, everybody's partners are not working for charity, irrespective of how little they are earning, they are still earning something. And nursing is even one of the least, in quotes, one of the least paid professional job here. You would see some
Not
people, yes, yes, NHS is still one of the least.
in effect. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still one of the least. So I will keep saying NHS because I will use that as a point of reference rather than care home, because definitely working in the care home, you're earning more. So I wouldn't want to use that. I will use the list, at least that I know people are based on here in England. Do you understand? So irrespective of the job of a partner, they're still earning something. It would only either make it faster, quicker in terms of savings, or slow it down. Do you understand? But saving is still saving, no matter how little it is. So,
Yeah.
my partner being a wife, yeah, to an extent, and I will say to an extent because at the end of the day, we were saving. We started saving when we both moved to NHS, not even when I was in the NHS and she was in the care home.
Hmm. So how
Yes.
long was it between your move to the NHS and getting the house? How many months did you save?
Okay. It's not about the number of months because we didn't start immediately. We had to absorb the shock. in terms of the difference. And I'll tell you what the shock entails, because we have to do a lot of things. We have to put a lot of things in process.
Was it that
You know,
different?
yeah, it was that difference. You can imagine having £600 difference in terms of your salary. Now multiply that by two, which is about 1,200, because we are two.
Yeah.
So we had to absorb that shock. We had to relax, swallow, and then start reducing things. I will get into that later on. But I would say we started saving officially, like seriously saving, February.
Okay.
Yeah, we started saving seriously February, and we got our house May, because I would say May. We moved in August. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
3 months.
yes.
It's a lie.
It's true. I'll tell you. I'll tell
How?
you how. I will tell you. I'll tell you. Hmm? I'll tell you. Okay.
Okay.
So, I would say, let's just say 3 to 5 months, because I could be wrong about the timeline, but I'm very sure it was February we started. Like, I remember she called me and sat me down, Omo, come, let's start saving. So I would say between 4 to 5 months.
All right.
The first thing we did, the first thing is to get well informed in terms of the opportunities that NHS would afford us. Now, one of the reasons when we were asked during the interview, why are you coming to the NHS from the care home? We explained to them it doesn't afford us time with each other. It doesn't give us that time, with each other. And my matron understood, her matron understood also. And one thing I've noticed with the NHS is they are more flexible when it comes to your shift pattern. They are ready to listen because they need you. You understand? Unlike care home, that they don't care.
Really?
So to say, yeah,
I
they are
actually
ready.
thought the flexibility is more in the care home.
No, 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 no. Care home, they will coerce you. And like you see all those things I mentioned. If it is not meeting, it is training. If it is not training, it is disciplinary. If it is not disciplinary, it is medication, what they call this thing, audit, or stock
Yeah.
something that needs to come in. You need to come into the unit. They will tell you they will pay for your time, but at the end of the day, you're losing out, because those are the extra times you could be doing things, other things, to bring money back into the home. So they clustered our shifts, our duty together. There was nothing like come to the unit for one training. You get all your training. You have about 2 to 3 or 4 months supernumerary, and part of the supernumerary process is for you to have your trainings even before you come fully into the unit. So you have your trainings, and if there's any updated training, any training that needs updates to be updated, rather, it will be when you're on duty. They wouldn't call you when you are off duty, come to work to come and have this training done. They don't do that. Do you understand? And then there's no politics, no extra thing. Once you are off duty in NHS, you are off duty. If they see you at work, they will even ask you, what are you doing here? It's more or less like you're breaking a code or something, but not technically breaking any code. But you should know that you're off. So what I'm getting at is that it gave us the time and the chance to pick up extra shifts with agencies, you know. Agency job is a 0 hour contract jobs. There are agencies out there, temporary placements, they call them. It's just like travel nursing in the US. The pay is quite much more. Um, I'm being a Nigerian, I'm saying quite. It's much more than what you'll be getting either with the NHS or with the care home. I'm talking about pay of between £30 an hour to £40 an hour to £50 an hour, compared to what you're getting with the NHS of £13 an hour, or a care home of £17 an hour you know. But being a tier two sponsored registered nurse, you're limited to the number of hours you can do as an extra job out there. The limit has been temporarily lifted, but it can be reinstated at any time, any moment from now, because they lifted it off because of COVID, and it really came it was really beneficial to us because we made use of it massively. You know, my wife and I, we averagely do about 4 shifts or 4 days a week with the NHS. Then we make sure we pick about at least 2 days extra because we had that goal. We know where we were going to.
Wait, the extra, is it in the NHS or
No,
as
no, no,
agency?
no. It's agency. One thing that we made as a mistake was joining all these low-paying agencies, thinking we hit it hard and hit it high in nothing but no. The more informed, like I said, you are in this country, the richer you will become. So it was later on we discovered that that was even the least paying agency that we were dancing on. So getting an extra job, the right extra job, the well-paying extra job will go a long way. Then you need to sit down. If you are single, sit down. If you are if you are in a relationship, sit down with your partner, or married, sit down with your partner. Then get a piece of paper, table out your spendings. When I mean spendings, I mean all those extras that you don't even let your partner know about. Ladies, all those clothes that you go and hide inside your cupboard for a long time and just release and show him like, I don't know when I got this, really, you know. And guys too, all those extra spendings that we don't want our
Oh,
partner to know.
mm,
Write it out, write them out because you know what you want. You have a goal. You want to get a house. It's not something that will just come on a platter of gold for you. You have to save towards it. And for you to be able to save, you need to actually know what is leaving the house, know what you're spending on, know how much you're paying for your bills in terms of gas, electricity, and phone, internet. Know how much it is you're paying for council tax, your rent, and all those stuff. Know what the essential bills are, the essential spendings are, and the ones that you can do without. Now, for the period of for saving towards the house, all those expenditures that you can do without them. It's just for that short period of time. Do you understand? It doesn't mean you're poor. Do you get it? I will tell you, it doesn't mean you're poor. It doesn't mean you can't afford them, but you have a goal. So you have to do without them. You will live without them, trust me. If it's that you wanted to pick a new phone contract, iPhone 13, I heard is out now, or 13 Pro. I'm not an Apple fan, sorry. And you were like, oh my God, I must show my friends. I use 3 cameras too in a triangle shape. You know, chill, chill, chill. By the time you get your house, iPhone 14 will be out. Do you get?
Abi,
Then you go for that. So just hold on all those extra spendings. Then one major thing that you need to do, which really really helped us during our saving after all these things I've said, getting an extra job, cutting down on cost, is downsizing. I'll tell you what it means. We were previously living in a two-bedded flat, you know, in Leeds, and it was costing us about 800 to 900 pounds in total, including rent, council tax, electricity bill, water, gas. You can see it's quite much. So what we did was we downsized from that bedded flat. We looked for another flat, which was almost like a studio. You know, once our contract, we never signed the contract past 6 months. I also advise people, if you're renting an apartment, they won't force you to sign 1 year. And if they force you to sign a 1 year contract, look for another house. It's best to sign for 6 months because anything can happen in between that period. If you don't serve that contract, if you don't live in that house up to that contracted, number of months, your deposit goes. And those landlord knows. So they try to, coerce people into signing for more, but we never signed for more than 6 months. So what we did was at the end of that 6 months, towards the end of the 6 month contract we signed for that house, we started looking for smaller flats we could live in. And it really helped us. It cut our bill by almost about £400 every month. We moved into a one-bedded, single room kind of, apartment where the rent was about 400, council tax was about 90 something pounds. The electricity and the bill and the water too was not much because it's a very small house. It's easy, you can easily heat it up, and we were saving massively through that by doing that. Because all those extra that would have been going into, because what the reason why we got a two-bedded property was we will be having visitors when they come, where will they stay? But here in England, everybody is on their own lane. No, you hardly have visitors. So the room was just there, getting cold, getting heated up for no reason, with no visitors. So we decided to, downsize. So I would advise people, if you're spending so much on rent, any rent more than 400 to me is much, especially for a house that is not
In
yours.
England.
Yeah, especially for,
In
yeah,
England,
that's another thing.
£400.
Yeah, see,
Where are
when
you
people
going to
want
see
to
that
come,
kind of house?
there are. When people want to come to England, the first advice I give them is know the cost of the area you're coming to. I don't advise people to go towards London. I know once you are there, you can't save. Just forget. You're paying someone else. It's like forget saving. When you, even though they will tell you, although they will tell you rather that we'll be paying you more. There's a fee they call it, like
Mm,
such living in an
yeah,
expensive area.
extra,
It doesn't cut
exactly.
it. Don't
Yeah.
be deceived. It doesn't cut it. You will be spending huge, though you'll be earning a little bit more than those who are living towards the northern area. But the more northern you go in England, the better for you, the cheaper the houses are, and then you can go towards, stop living in the city center. You can't get those kind of housing, irrespective of the city. You can't get those kind of house in the city center. Look for postcode that are not too far, but easily accessible to your place of work through, road networks and co. And, downsize. It really helped us. I'm talking out of experience. In Leeds, like I said, we were living in a house of 650, 700 every month previously before we downsized to a 400 pounds per month flat. And it wasn't even a shared apartment, but it was a flat. Definitely, you're not the only one living in the whole building, but it really helped. So I would advise people to downsize. It would really help in saving. Remember, also know your expenditures and then get an extra job. Excuse me, those are the three major points I will give for now. Then now these are extras. It doesn't apply to most people. The first 3 points applies to almost everybody, but these other extra bits don't. It doesn't apply to a lot of people. If you are a dependent, you can change jobs, and you're working in the NHS as a dependent. Change jobs. You know, you're not tied down by anything. You are under your main partner. Your main partner can stay with the NHS. Change jobs. You can change job as a full-time agency worker. You'll be earning it big time.
Mm,
Do you
yeah.
understand? You can imagine earning 30, 40, 50 pounds an hour constantly, 4 shifts a week.
Okay. This advice now is for those that their spouses are nurses.
Yeah, that's why I say it
Because
doesn't apply
somebody
to
that
most people.
okay, but
It
even
doesn't.
the ones that are not nurses, they can still work as healthcare assistants with
Yeah,
agents. They
with
still make a
agencies
lot of
and
money.
earning better rather than working with the NHS. So changing job is another way. Yeah, this is another part that might not really apply to a lot of people. Um, all those expensive stuffs you have, you might need to sell them. You might need to sell them. I had to sell my car, to be sincere. There was this huge car I always drive back then. I loved that car. But being that I knew it wasn't, I couldn't save, having that car because I was paying so much. Being an expensive car, I was also paying so much in terms of insurance, so I had to sell it off. But I have a bigger one and better one now. So it's just for the meantime, like I said, it's not a permanent thing. You can sell that car, sell that expensive stuff, go smaller for now, and you thank me later. That's about that. This might apply to a lot of people. Use a locked joint account. If you're the type that after saving a bit, you go inside, go and pick money, to go and help family members at home or go and buy this thing and enjoy my I cannot kill myself kind of lifestyle. You know, it might be beneficial for you to have a joint account whereby if the other party doesn't sign, you cannot withdraw from it. Do you get?
Huh.
Or have a different account whereby your partner that is more disciplined would hold the key to. Then have a monthly goal and stick by it. When we were saving, my wife and I, we make sure we always save, I think, £1,500 per month each.
Each.
Yes. For you
How?
to know how we had to do those extra jobs, you know you have that goal. I think it was 1.2 or 1.5. Yeah, I think it's 1.5 each month.
Did you guys pay yourself at all that
We
month or those
did,
months?
we
Like
did,
it
but
would be from work to agency to the house
we
to
did.
work to agency.
Because at the end of the day, you close from work, you come home, you come and gist about how work was and everything. And sometimes it's not every week because agency is not like now everything is a bit bad because of COVID. There's always those shifts coming in. But back then, before COVID, you might see two shifts successfully this week and just say one extra next week. You understand? So sometimes it wasn't, but we always stick by the goal. Like we make sure we stay with the goal. 1,005 from my side, 1,005 from your side each month. And
Wow.
that was why it was that short of a period. So we were saving about 3,000, if I still remember vividly, every month. Or is it? I think later on, we had to reduce the amount. We had to reduce it when we saw we were hitting that goal at a faster pace. We reduced it to I think 2,000 per month from each. That's 1,000 each. Now we further reduced it to 750, and that was because we were planning and saving another bit of the salary towards the wedding we had last year.
Mhm.
So even with the wedding, we still had savings that still continued regardless. Now it's schooling, and even with the schooling, we still make sure that this is how much we'll be saving at least every month. So have a goal and stick by it. It would really help. And then ask questions, do background findings, go on the internet, find out about things, watch videos, check YouTube, ask Google. You'll be well informed about things. Then that's just it.
I love your house.
Thank
Oh
you very
God.
much. The thing is, the house has changed massively. So I think though that's to the advanced level, we're planning on even selling this. We're planning on selling this and going to go for something much more better. Because one thing about house is that it doesn't depreciate. Once you've gotten that house, your deposit that you paid on that house, you would always get it back, even if you sell the house, and even much more than that. Now, this house has increased um about by about £50,000.
Hmm.
Yeah, because the selling price we placed on the market now is £50,000 more than what we got it for, and we are not up to 2 years yet. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think it's a good business for someone to
See,
like
but the
maybe
thing
buy a
about
house,
the thing
live
about
in the
buying
house
a
for
house, yeah,
three months, four
people use
months,
it
and
as a
then sell
business
it?
venture. People use it as a business venture, but um, you need a lot of finance to be able to do that. You need to have huge finance to be able to, and be ready to take risk. Because what people do in those kind of business, they don't use all these brand new houses. No, they will get all those auction houses at a far cheaper rate, spend a few quid to that house, you know, renovating and everything, then reselling the house. It's a massive business, but for those who
Yeah,
have,
but you spend a lot of money to renovate the house.
I know. So, but the thing is, in terms of as compared to the cost spent on the house, we're still earning, like we're still really making a huge profit. But at the same time, we're getting something bigger, so we're still spending. But at the end of the day, because this place is still a stepping stone anyway, at the end of the day, you get your finances and
Yeah.
jackpot.
So let me ask one
Yeah,
question. You don't have to answer this question, no.
yeah. How
But
much? That's it.
how
How
did you know?
much? I know.
How did you know?
So,
How much and how many percent deposit did you have to pay?
okay, lovely. We got the house. We got the house, I would say, at the back end, and I'll tell you why. Because it was a showroom, and showrooms are number one
Showroom, what does
rare.
that mean?
Yeah. Now, in every new development, there are houses that they build specifically to show people around how, like, to give them a pictorial view, a physical view of how their house would look like after building their house.
Okay.
You know, so this house was one of the first houses that was built in this development. May 2019, they completed the house.
Oh,
So,
so it's a new house then.
yes, yeah, May 2019. But, I wouldn't say whites, but, these guys here around here, they really don't fancy show homes like that because they believe people are walking, they've seen around. Some people just want something that's not been touched before or walked into before. So it that for that reduced the price. Then secondly, being that they don't sell showrooms until the end of the development, and being that they want to sell it quick to be able to start another development somewhere else, they always make it at a cheaper price. But that doesn't mean that the house itself doesn't make sense. It does, and it's a hot cake. In fact, you don't even see showrooms on Supla, or you don't see them. It's only I heard they want to sell a showroom. Come and buy. That is how it gets sold. So we got it for 170. Normally, it should have been 179,800 pounds, but we got it for 171,990. Being that we were key workers, and key workers back then, they were all clapping for us and everything. So we were key workers. It was their own way of adding to us. Then also they gave us another extra £3,000 cash to be able to, if we want to buy anything into the house, like upgrades and everything. Though the
Wait,
house,
who is they?
that's
Is
this
it
the
government or
developer.
what?
No, 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 no. The developer, those who built the house themselves,
They
like the
just gave
developer.
you 3,000 like that.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Why don't I meet all those kind of people?
Well, like I said, it was during the COVID era, so a lot of things were going on for key workers. A lot of things was going on. What else? The solicitor's fee was also reduced for us because of this key worker scheme stuff, and it really helped us all those fees anyway. So you can imagine having £3,000 cash plus your deposit and everything. So it was really better. It made life easier for us. We had no idea they would give us the £3,000 cash until we reserved the house. So it wasn't like we had it up in plan when we were saving or anything. No. Then we paid 5% deposit for the house, and I'll tell you why it was 5%. We actually had more than 10% worth of the deposit of the house when we saved. But there is more to buying a house than just having the deposit. You have to pay for a lot of extra fees. You have to pay for movers fee, those who will move your stuffs. You have to pay for solicitors. Solicitors is massive. We're talking about thousands of pounds for solicitors. If there's a tax you pay if it's not your first home and you want to buy maybe a second home. I've forgotten the name of that tax, but you have to buy that. You have to pay for that tax, and it's not part of your deposit. It's not part of your mortgage. It's to the government straight. You have to pay for survey to be done on the house. And surveys, they will go through around the house, tell you what is what, how much it is, if the house actually works. They will tell you if there's any problem with the house or any future problem that might happen with the house that you cannot see, especially as a first-time buyer. They will tell you the dimension, all these things cost. they are money intensive. Also, searching around, they will search for the developer if they are into money laundering, if the house is prone to flood, if it was built in a conservatory area, if there's any plan by the government, to maybe pave or cut part of your compound for road, all those things will cost. So it was actually the advice for us not to go for the 10% deposit, but 5%, so we can get the extra funds. And it really helped that we, went for and you also want to buy extra bits in the house, because we got a fridge, the American style fridge freezer, the dishwasher, the washing machine came with the house. But the American style and the dishwasher is also expensive on its own. So with all those costs putting into consideration, you have to just go with 5%. That's what I would say. Even if you have 10%, and if you have 5%, save up to 10% before you even you know start
Before
this
we
whole
start.
house buying process, because you at the end of the day you will only see that before you get to the stage where they would even require you to pay your deposits. You've spent all the deposits.
Do you think it's better to buy the new house or old house?
They both have their own advantage. They have their own
Mm.
advantages,
You know what?
disadvantages.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in another video. Okay.
Lovely.
Thank you so much for
You're
agreeing to
welcome.
this video again. This is
You're
the second
welcome.
time you're appearing on this channel.
Abiru, Abiru, yes, I know. I know.
The
You're
first
welcome.
one
I'm
about
always I'm
the
always thrilled
emission.
and I'm always happy to help people. I'm always happy because I know one of the things that we lack here as nurses in the foreign land is information, the right information.
Yeah.
So I tend to want to give people, because it really helped me. It
Oh,
really did
thank
help me.
you. Thank you
You're
so much.
welcome. You're welcome.
Okay. So we're going to end this video here today,
Okay.
and we hope to see you again very soon for the next video where you will
Sure.
tell us about buying old house or new house and the whole process,
Process.
everything that goes with it.
No problem.
All
Definitely
right.
will.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. Cheers. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.